Hi everyone, my name is Maribel and I'm a counselor here at Merced Adult School, and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of wearing a mask. I know I'm going to take this off now for that. So this was a video requested by a student, hey, can we talk about the pros and cons? What's the research out there? What are people saying? So I'm going to make light of the situation, but also give you some research and what people are saying, what experts are saying. So I kind of looked at a little bit of everything and everything to consider. So wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. One day we're told to wear a mask, and then another is don't wear a mask. What should we really do? We really need to consider everything while making the best decision to wear a mask or not to. It's really not just about us, but about others, especially those we care about and those who are more vulnerable. Okay, so let's look at all the pros and cons to wearing a mask, and there might be more, or not wearing one, and there can be more, but these are some that I came up with. Okay, and so let's go ahead. So the pros. If you think about it, and research has shown, it really helps prevent the spread of the virus. So we know that masks are not by itself, it's not going to prevent you from getting the virus. But it does protect not only you, but the community. It reduces the amount of particles that get in your, or pathogens that you can breathe and get you sick. It's not about just inhaling, but it's also when you exhale, right? Because you're preventing anything from coming in, and anything you're exhaling is also staying with you, right? So it is proven to be an effective barrier to prevent the transmission of any infectious materials. Not reduced to zero, but it can still reduce the spread. So we know that. That's research. It's not gonna be 100% effective, but doing this and other things like keeping your distance, washing your hands, that will definitely reduce it from either spreading or you contracting that virus. That's a pro. So it can limit how far away particles can travel. So if you were to sneeze or if you were to cough, it goes far, right? But if you wearing your mask, especially if you're sick, it really can limit how far it goes and maybe how far it can travel and spread. So plus. Okay, so these are the interesting ones. You don't need to brush your teeth in the morning. Maybe you don't need to do your makeup. I have done my makeup, but you don't need to because you can cover up. If you're sick, you can wear it. So you don't spread anything. So most people, when they're sick, usually they don't want to expose anyone of it. You can actually, I think a pro is you can look like a ninja. And I always thought that we could be cool ninjas wearing this or wearing these masks. So I always look at the positives. Hey, we're ninjas now. Now I feel like we can be part of Mortal Kombat, part of the team, the cool team with these masks. And this comes to this point. You can go to places undetected. Not many people can recognize you, although I beg to differ. Someone recognized me and was like, oh, hey, yesterday I was like, oh, you can still recognize me? I mean, I recognized her, but oh, wow, some people can't. So you can go if you're dressed differently and people are not used to seeing you in a certain way. If you don't want to be seen or recognized, hey, you're wearing a mask. So you can go, if you're wanting to not be recognized, you can go undetected around places. You can avoid bad smells. For me, I can't stand smoking. I can't stand, maybe people burping or having other gas problems. construction. Like, I can't stand certain smells, pollution in the air. I can't. So it helps with that. You can actually travel and enter certain shops, because some places are requiring that, that you wear a mask, and as long as you're wearing a mask, you can travel, and as long as you're wearing a mask, you can enter certain businesses. And rather be safe than sorry. You can actually hide your emotions. So if you don't like someone, I know these are interesting ones, like you can hide your emotions, and you don't have to smile at people or even say hi. You can be antisocial. I don't encourage this, but at least if you're an introvert, you don't like, greeting people, you don't like always being positive with people, like, okay, fine. This is your opportunity. You can hide it all. Another positive. You can use this as a slingshot. So you always have a slingshot. You can use it as a weapon if you need to defend yourself. I know, I'm funny, right? Sometimes it's nice if you have a breakout, because you get breakouts, which is gonna be a positive, negative right now, but like right now, you can hide it. You can hide your ugliness or your breakouts, so you don't look that bad. But one thing is positive. If you're asymptomatic, which remember means that you're still carrying the virus, but it's not affecting you, it's not really doing you any harm, you can still give it to others. So that's just the big thing. You can still give it to others if you don't wear this mask. So you avoid giving it to anyone who might be vulnerable to it. So some of us have better immune system. Some of us, don't get sick easily, but you can still be carrying the virus, and you can still spread it to other people. So if you're wearing the mask, even though you are maybe, vaccinated, or, let's not go with that vaccine. If you're wearing a mask and you could be having the virus, like I said, you can still spread it, even though you have it and it's not affecting you. But if you wear the mask, you avoid that. You're still keeping things or germs to yourself, and you're not giving it to anyone else who may be vulnerable. So those are the pros of wearing a mask. So what are some negatives, the cons? So this is what people will argue. It's not really helping you build your immune system if you're always wearing a mask. It's good to expose yourself to these particles in the air so it does not affect your allergies drastically. A lot of times when you're like incubated and you're not around particles that are like foreign to your body, then it affects you more. But being exposed to these particles, little parts at a time, it doesn't affect you as much. So of course, if you're wearing it like 24/7, I think that's a problem. I would say, just don't wear it the whole time, but that's negative. Like sometimes, you might be, your immune system might not be exposing itself to these particles that are needed to build a better immune system, and you're not having all these allergies come out of nowhere because you're exposing yourself to these foreign particles, and in your city, in your town, in your community. So you have a beautiful smile, and no one could tell. It sucks, right? You have this beautiful smile, and you can't show it off because you're wearing a mask. You can't really see expressions, so I get it. You can't tell how attractive someone is if you're like meeting someone for the first time, you're going on a date, you might not know how really attractive they are. I mean, because attractiveness is still important. So you could be catfished if you're trying to get to know someone. You could be mistaken for a robber. I know this is a funny one, but like sometimes if you're wearing all black and you're covering yourself, and you're wearing all dark, a lot of people could mistake you as a robber. And you don't want to be mistaken as a robber. So it is really hard to understand when someone's talking. And I understand it sometimes when people have an accent. Some of us have accents. It can affect that. And it can be frustrating because you can't hear them. You're like, I'm trying to say this, or they're trying to say something. And it's not comfortable to breathe. Like, especially if you feel like you need to breathe a lot and you're taking deep breaths. It's really hard. It's really uncomfortable. It's uncomfortably hard to breathe in a mask. And I know, I get frustrated wearing it too, like suffocating. I hate feeling them suffocated, and you get anxiety, you know. It's hard to exercise, especially if you're doing a really intense exercise, and you could actually faint if you're wearing the mask, especially if it's intense. So that's, if you're an intense workout person, it might not work out. It can really work against you with your health and your health. So some people are sensitive to material and that the masks are made of, and so people are breaking out. So that's, people are saying like, hey, I'm breaking out, my face is breaking out. And thankfully I don't have that issue. Thank God. That would suck. That would not be fun. But if, you know, sometimes certain material, hopefully you find a material that works for you. So, and last but not least, people with underlying respiratory problems, heart disease or lung disease, like asthma, it's hard for you. It's really hard for you to, like, you've already have a hard time breathing. So it's just hard to have to wear another obstacle that gets in the way of your breathing when you already have issues breathing. You already have issues, you know, if you have asthma, if you have issues, any respiratory issues. So that doesn't work out. So there you go, the pros and cons. At the end of the day, you're gonna be doomed whether you wear one or not, wear a mask or not. You're gonna be judged. People are gonna judge you whether you wear one or not. Just keep in mind that there are others out there who may be more vulnerable than you to the virus. And I just keep that in mind. I'm not saying I'm against people who wear masks, or people, I prefer that people wear masks, because trust me, I get the frustration. I'm like, but this is how I do it. This is how I keep it. This is my personal opinion. If you're outdoors, keep your distance and don't worry about wearing a mask. Because if you're going hiking, if you're just outdoors, there's not a lot of people, or if at all any people, don't wear a mask, but just keep your distance, right? Make sure your hands are clean and washed. But if you're around a lot of people and indoors, unless you're eating or not eating, you know, wear it around people, because you never know who is the vulnerable person. Keep your distance. This is a triangle pyramid. Like, keep your distance, you know, 3 feet, 6 feet. They say 6. Actually, I would say 6 feet. Even though now we're saying 3 feet, 6 feet. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. It really can reduce getting it or to giving it to others. And that's just a common just practice and something to consider. You know, like, you don't want to be that person that maybe, you know, was carrying it and gave it to others. And I know, you know, maybe with the vaccine it's different now, but that's what I would say. Like, I want to be respectful of others, and I want to be respectful of people's opinions. And some people will agree or disagree, but I wanted to give you the, you know, what people are saying regarding some pros and the cons of wearing a mask. So if it was for me, like, I don't wear a mask if I'm outdoors and not around so many people. If there was a lot of people outdoors, I just keep my distance. But if I'm outdoors, I'm not wearing a mask. That's my personal thing. You know, at work is different. You have to wear a mask because you just never know. And then if you're indoors, if you're not eating, wear it, you know, just to make sure people don't feel offended, or you're being respectful of other people's, you know, health, or just in general, because you never know the impact that you can do if you're a carrier and it's, you know, again, you're asymptomatic. So Okay, that's all I got for you guys this week. Hopefully they kind of give you guys a little insight, and I know I made it light of the situation, but I wanted to let you know what people are saying out there. And again, we know that masks don't masks don't cure anything, but it can help reduce prevention in giving the virus to someone or getting the virus, with, of course, hand in hand with washing hands and keeping your distance. So you guys do what you want to do, and respect whether you do or not. Just keep these things in mind. Okay, hope you like this video. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed to me, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.